freedom has an internal part and an external part. The external part is that I can go wherever I want. I can do whatever I want. We make a restriction of the external freedom when we put somebody into prison. Then the person cannot go for a walk whenever he or she wants. This is taking away the external freedom, and this is considered as a great punishment because the human being has a self-understanding of being a free being, a being who is autonomous and makes his or her decisions by himself, herself. And when I can do what I want, when I decide, now I go out to have a coffee with a friend, and I can do it, then I feel free in the external freedom. This type of freedom is now reduced, not totally disappeared, it did not disappear totally, but it is less than we are used. We cannot go, there is no coffee shop which is open in Vienna or I don't know, in other countries. And what about the inner freedom? What is the inner freedom? The inner freedom is in this, stems out of this dialogue with myself. I can talk with myself and nobody can stop me in this. You can put me into jail and you can close my mouth and you can even torture me, but you cannot stop my talking with myself, my being with myself, and my will. It's only me who decides what I do, what I say, how I behave. And you can torture me if I do not want to say anything, I do not say it. And it is still my freedom, even if you torture me more and more, so that it becomes unbearable. It's still my freedom to say something or not. And it's still my decision. Only me, only I can decide if I'm going to say something or not. But you may say, but if the torture becomes too heavy, too painful, you will be forced to speak. No. If you look closely at it, it's not true. I'm not forced. I still have my freedom, even under the hardest, most painful conditions. But can you still be silent when you're, when they are burning your skin and torturing you physically and psychically? Can you still be free? Yes, I am free. Why? Because it's me who decides to start speaking or not, because it's too painful. Because I hope when I speak, they will stop torturing me. And I do not want to be tortured more or longer and to suffer from so much pain. It is still my decision. The inner freedom cannot be taken away. The inner freedom is intimate. No other human being reaches the turning point, the element of this inner freedom. They can change outer conditions, yeah. but it's still up to me if I say yes or no. So it is so important, especially in a crisis situation, to be aware that our inner freedom is not graspable for other people. Other people can influence me, but if I say yes or no, if I agree or not, it is still me. Torture is one way to influence a person to do something as they want. Seduction is the other way, that other people influence me to do something what they want. They offer me so much money that I cannot resist to do what they want. Also, I feel it's not correct, or I shouldn't do it, or I do not fulfill my duty. We have the possibility to be corrupted and to give in when we are tortured. Between these two great influences, we try to live our way according to ourselves, to what my person tells me, my inner voice says me, what my moral conscience finds it to be correct. And I decide, ultimately I decide. Also when I'm seduced, I feel exactly that this is seduction. But it's my decision. And therefore, I'm also guilty when I'm seduced because I said yes. Maybe a little less guilty but when I'm not, as in situation when I'm not seduced, but still it's my decision. Wherever I make the decision, this is my responsibility. And I'm the only one and the unique person who has this possibility to make a decision, to say yes or no, to create a will. Nobody can make my will. It's only me who makes my will. And therefore, we have a very high identification with our will. Inner freedom is connected with the will, which makes the decisions, which says, I want to speak, I want to think, I want to meditate, I want to be with myself, I want to go to eat or whatever. Lots of inner will is connected with the outer freedom, of course. I want to go for a walk. I want to read a book, but this means I have to have a book around. And when I'm in the prison, I don't have a book. So, but I can, in the prison, I still can say, I want to open the eyes or to close the eyes, to concentrate on my breath, etc. There is still a little bit of outer world, which is very close to the inner world, where remain possible activities connected with the outer world. But the most inmost freedom is not the will, it is my essence, my being a person. As a person, I am not graspable. I am like the tone of a flute. I can blow into this flute. The me, the I, with my will, I can start talking with myself. And this means blowing into my flute and listen what resonance I get back. How it feels like. This inner freedom, the deepest element of this inner freedom is the freedom of being, the freedom of my essence. I am essentially free as a person. The tone of my flute, this is my essence. And this appears when I am confronted with myself or with other people or things. And this freedom, I don't have this. This is the freedom which I am. I can only be it. It is on the level of being, not on the level of having. On the level of having is the freedom of decision and the freedom of action. There are these three forms of freedom. Freedom of decision. I decide what I'm going to do. I decide if I'm silent or not. And the freedom of action, that I can really go for the walk. This is freedom of action. But the freedom of being, the freedom of which comes of my essence, the essential freedom, the freedom of this being a person, this is beyond our grasp. Even I cannot grasp towards it. I can only open up towards it and give space to it, that it enters, that it speaks in me, that I can feel this inner resonance, this my being a person, this my being authentic. Then, when I'm authentic, I'm really and fully free in correspondence to who I am. This inner freedom is cannot be reached by any restriction from the outside. And also the inner dialogue, which is the tool how we live this inner freedom. So the outer restrictions may be a push, a stimulus to become more aware of this huge capacity, of this great richness of inner freedom, which we have and which cannot be taken away by others, and which we can cultivate and connect with and be with it and live it and bring it to irradiate it and to bring it into appearance and to keep it until the ultimate breath of our life.